Hello guys, this is Joyce from Enjoy Scrapping 2. Today I'll be making these cards for Wplus Designs LLC. I'll be making a very clean and simple card sets that you can mass produce. With the holidays coming, I'll be making a lot of card sets, so I like to try to keep it as simple as possible, but still look good. So this is my first set, and I'll be using these two stamp sets. I'll be using this Wplus9 stamp set that I just got, and I'll be using the top bunny image right there, the two bunnies, and also I'll be using the penny black background stamp called Blips. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp out my image first so that it'll have some time to dry before we use Copic markers to color them. So I'll be using my Favorite Things Hybrid Black Licorice ink. And I'm gonna go ahead and punch as I'm stamping so I don't run out of room or stamp them too close to each other. I'm using a 2.5-inch circle punch, but you can definitely use circle die, or you can even trace it and cut it with your scissor if you don't have any dies. So I'll be needing 4 because I'll be making 4 cards. So I needed another one. And I'm using Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock. That's 2.5. And I'm going to put those off to the side to dry. And the ink pads that I'll be using today for my background stamp is Ranger's dye ink. There's 12 colors total for these inks. I really like these inks because they are very bright and vibrant. So I have 4 of these stitched rectangle pieces cut using my Favorite Things stitched rectangle die. And as you can see, I already cut out mattings for both my circle and my rectangular piece. When you're mass producing, it's best to have everything cut and ready and do all your stamping at once, to do all the cutting at once, and of course to do all the adhering at once. So I'm kind of deciding which colors that I want to use, and I pulled out this violet color. All the colors and the supplies that I use for this card will be in the descriptions below. And I chose out this pink, a yellow, and this teal color, Caribbean Coast. You can make these in no time at all. It doesn't take that long. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my lightest color. I put in the back a laminated cardstock so that I thought you can see better that way, but I'll end up removing it because it was sliding around too much and I couldn't get really good inking. But I like to use the lightest color to the dark because these Rangers dye inks, they really dye ink to the stamp set, so you have to clean them really well before you move on to the next color, or there will be some color transfer. So here's the yellow. So make sure you clean it really well. I use a baby wipe, and then I use the cleaning solution, and then I clean it again, and then I use my absorber as well, just to make sure that it's completely clean. And now I'm using this pink, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that for all the other colors. So now I'll be doing some coloring using my Copic markers. I'll show you how I colored one of these bunnies, and then I'll go off camera to color the rest. I'm using N5, N3, and N1 today, and I'm putting the darkest shadows where the two bunnies meet, so right in between the bunnies. Because I think they're looks like they're kind of hugging each other, so I feel that that would be where my darkest is going to be. I like to start out with my darkest and lay down where I want my shadows to be, and then blend it out a little bit with my medium tone, and then color the entire thing with my lightest tone. And I go back and forth to achieve the color or the look that I want. And I'll be giving a little bit of a pink tail using R20, but I go over it with my lightest gray so that it doesn't really look as pink, brightly pink. And then I'll be giving them some ground using W3 and a W1. And I'll color all the others exactly the same. And I attached it to the circle mat that I cut, and I'm having it dried at the top. And I'm going to attach this piece to the black mat that I cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm using liquid glue for this because it gives more wiggle room so that you can kind of wiggle it to get it really centered. So I'm going to repeat the step for all of these. I'm having some technical difficulties here today. This must be like my 6th voiceover. For some reason, certain areas, my voiceover wouldn't be there, or there wouldn't be any sound. I don't know. So now that I have all 4 of these ready, I'm going to go ahead and prep my card base. My card base is Nina 110-pound cardstock, and I'm scoring it at 5.5 because this is a top folding card, and I'm using the Teflon bone folder. I really love this bone folder. Before, when I was using the regular bone folders, when I use thick cardstocks, like 100-pound to maybe 120-pound, sometimes it would crack on me, and I would have to like sand it so that it wouldn't look funny. But I have no issues of that with this bone folder, so I'm super happy. And it gives a really clean, crisp score line. So I'm reinforcing my score here. You can see it's very clean. And now that I have that ready, I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to this part. I'm using a 1/2 inch ATG because I'm going to stick a fun foam here. It's cut slightly smaller than the black cardstock. And I recently got this from Wplus9 LLC, and I think they have the best prices for these foams. I've searched my local craft stores here and they were completely sold out and they were like double the cost. And there's only like two craft stores here, so um, there isn't many. I even checked the Walmart too, but they were completely out as well. So that's why I do a lot of my shopping online because I have limited resources. And even then, the prices become really high when it comes here. So I like to do my shopping online. So I'm going to go ahead and attach all of them. It's really sticky. And that's good so that the foam wouldn't come off. And then I'm going to put this panel on to my card base. And then after that, I'll glue on that circular piece that we created with the rabbits. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that right onto my card front. I'm not using a sentiment for these until I know who I'm going to give it to. Or sometimes what I like to do is I like to have the sentiments prepared separately so that the recipient can pick and choose which sentiment that they want to use rather than giving them something that they won't be able to use. That's how I like to prepare my card sets for the holidays. So this finishes off my cards for today. It didn't take long. It took less than an hour from cutting all the way to the coloring of the Copic markers. So that was pretty fast. So I thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I hope you like these cards. So maybe you can make these for your sets to give out as gifts for the holidays. And I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks so much. Bye.